welcome back to my homestead. Today I'm in the kitchen because I would like to talk to you about this very special mushroom. Look at this guy, isn't it something? It's called the hen of the woods. Well, at least that's what we call it around here in New England, but also it is known as Maitake mushroom. And Maitake mushroom is a Japanese word for translation dancing mushroom. Either because maybe it looks like a bunch of little butterflies dancing around, sitting together, or because people literally danced when they found foraging this mushroom. See, this mushroom is not just a delicacy in the culinary world, but also it is widely used as a medicinal mushroom. And it was highly prized as silver and gold back in the day, because that's how highly revered this mushroom is in the medicinal herbal world. Now, okay, let's talk about Maitake mushrooms and why it's so important. So this mushroom is very easy to identify. It likes to grow on the base of an oak tree, and there aren't really any other look-alike mushrooms, toxic mushrooms at least, that people could possibly mistake this by. It's a very firm mushroom. It's not one of those water-filled mushrooms that we're thinking of, button mushrooms. And it has a single base, but yet everything is like a brownish kind of like cauliflower, almost like consistency growing. And on the base on the opposite side of each little flake, there is no gill-like structure. It's all porous, kind of like a fungi mushroom. So it's not very easily can be mistaken for other mushrooms. But what is it so medicinally revered for? So one of them, and I'm going to read here for you guys. So it is high in antioxidants, it's high in vitamin B, C, copper, potassium, amino acids, but also it contains a component what is called beta-D glucans. And that is a very important immunomodulator, which means that it's going to help our immune system when to fight or when to relax. It's going to regulate that. There is some research that shows that it's this particular mushroom supplements were used to help patients with HIV and other viral infections, that is going to help with the T cell production. So again, a disclaimer that I always say in all of my herbal discussions: I am not a doctor. I do not diagnose, treat, or recommend anything in my channel. I am simply, guys, sharing what I know and what I do for my family. So, see this big chunk like this. Okay, I'm going to be slicing them into like a little strips like this, and then I'm going to be dehydrating them. So let me just talk to you about why I'm dehydrating them and what am I going to do with them after. So yes, we can cook them fresh. Obviously, we can saute them. They saute a little bit longer than a fresh regular mushroom because it has a little bit more substance to it, okay? They're not those delicate little mushrooms, button mushrooms that we see in the grocery store. They like a little heat first to saute them, kind of like to brown them, and then they need a little bit more time to cook. I love to use these guys in my stews, in my soups, but also I put them into my turkey stuffing for Thanksgiving. It's part of my recipe. So anyway, so I'm going to be dehydrating some right now. And the reason for that is that I want to make them shelf stable. So sometime when I need to cook something like make soup, I can always take out a little handful of them, rehydrate them in the warm water, and I can cook with them. So they will be in my pantry, ready to be used at any time. But also I can dehydrate them, which I'm going to be doing right now. And I'm going to be making them into powder, and I'm going to be using them as supplements. So I will be drying them, okay? And then I will be storing them in a glass jar. These are very nice and clean. Sometimes you bring them home from the forest and and they will have like literally bark inside of it because it likes to grow on a tree trunk at the base of an oak tree. Sometimes it grows around the bark, and it's quite dirty and it needs to be cleaned and washed, but this is super clean. My nephew went foraging and he got me this beautiful mushroom. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Okay, so the mushrooms dried nicely. It's very crispy. Beautiful mushrooms. So now I'm gonna just store them in a dry container, and I chose to use a jar. Hopefully they'll fit in here. Now at this point, either I can rehydrate them if I want to cook with them, or I can pulverize them in a coffee grinder to put them in capsules and consume them that way if I choose to take them medicinally. All right, friends, but this is a very frugal way to go ahead and forage for wild mushrooms, hen of the woods, and preserve it for future months to use. So friends, this fall, I hope you have a chance to go and forage for some mushrooms. Because see, hen of the woods is one of those safe mushrooms that has no look-alike poisonous mushrooms at all. And it's so highly revered for our health, but it's also delicious. And you can put it into soups and stews because it has a lot of water-soluble properties that are so good for us. So on this note, friends, I hope you're learning something about hen of the woods mushroom, Maitake mushroom. I hope you guys are learning something. I hope you're encouraged to eat some wild edibles, and I hope you try something new.